Hello everyone, and we are finally back for another episode of the Aftermath series. Let us wait not a moment more and dive right into this week's episode of Critical Role. So we start out with another wholesome, lovely reunion with Jester and her mother, and the moments they have together are just so adorable and so wholesome and just heartwarming. God forbid anything bad happens to either of them, because if that happens, I swear the next Aftermath episode that happens after that event, it'll just be me crying. You have been warned. But their reunion did not last too long, as the party needs to get to Zadash in a timely fashion. And so after some brief conversations, they leave Nicodranus and begin their 2-week-long journey to Zadash. Now, nothing too terribly noteworthy happens. We did get a few lore backstory drops from Beauregard. We learned her father's name is Thorough, and I believe we already did know they were a wine family, but I'm not sure we knew to what extent. We do now know that they are very well off, very wealthy, and the father came upon this land in rather magical ways. He was told by a fortune teller to buy this land and to grow grapes and to create wine, and well, the rest is history. We now know that they are super wealthy and their wine is pretty good. But the only real reason we got all of this backstory drop is because Jester did scry on Yasha again, and it seemed like they were heading towards Beauregard's hometown. And this immediately made her emotional and brought a tear to her eye. Now, we do know that she isn't particularly on the best terms with her parents, so why did she get all emotional? We do know that she does have some ties with her brother, and she hopes everything is going well with him, but maybe there's something deeper there. We can gather that Beau seeks approval to those that she looks up to, but I don't know if she necessarily looks up to her father. It could be that her father is the one person that she really wants to impress, because he's the one who sent her away in the first place and probably saw her as a failure. So while Beauregard definitely resents her father, there may be something more there. But then, as the party continued their travels, we had a nice trip down memory lane, as the party did stop in Trostenwald, and they all gathered drinking the Lionette wine, reminiscing about the times when they first met. It was honestly just an overall heartwarming nostalgia trip. Each of the members have come so far and have changed so much. They've all grown as people and have gotten far more powerful than when we first met them. So it was just a nice beat in the story where we could take a minute and just relax and think about all of the good times that have passed. And as the party continued their trek northward, they came across an abandoned camp that seems to have been attacked by goblins. Now, on the surface, this is just a minor thing, but if we look a little bit deeper, specifically in regards to Nott, it gets a little bit sad. The party has, for the most part, been traveling around Xhorhas and north of the Empire for the past, several episodes. And we've gotten to see a change in Nott's view of herself. She seems to have been coming to terms with her goblin form. Now, we obviously know that she still wants to revert back to Veth, but at least she became more comfortable with herself. People in Xhorhas and in Uthadurn didn't seem to really care that she was a goblin. They accepted her for who she was. But now, being back in the Empire, one of the first things that happens is she's reminded at how savage and evil goblins really are, which then immediately takes her back to probably hating herself, or reminding herself of what she is. And then moving on, Jester did another scry on Yasha, and it appears that they are now in Xhorhas. They have left the Empire and are heading towards the Locust Den. But the party does finally reach Zadash, and things haven't changed too much. However, it is now confirmed that the Cobalt Soul in Zadash was the one that was attacked by Oban Yasha and the Laughing Hand. Luckily, Arcanist Xenath did survive the attack and sort of helped them with various research that the party conducted in the library. And finally, Caleb has full access to the archives. Finally, after all of this time, all of these episodes that passed, him wanting access to all of this vast knowledge, he finally has it at his disposal. And we did see a little bit of a change in Beau during this whole sequence, there seemed to be an air of responsibility about her. Because she is an expositor now, she needs to hold herself to a higher standard and be a little bit more professional in the eyes of her peers in the Cobalt Soul. And so the party did a bunch of different research on the various things, but the main three that they researched are Juriel, the Angel of Irons, and Oban himself. So we know that the Angel of Irons has formed this new cult that has only been around for about 40 years. And Oban actually used to serve a demon known as Grazd. Oban was known as the Master of Wills to this demon, but Oban failed this demon and was then shamed and destroyed. And it's likely that he sought redemption through this Angel of Irons. And there's going to be an interesting pattern that comes up because Juriel and the Laughing Hand were also, to an extent, shamed and destroyed by a powerful entity. So it's likely that the Angel of Irons is seeking out those who have a personal want for revenge against different deities. They can all unite under their hatred for the gods. And right now it looks like Oban is trying to resurrect Juriel. And as Liam put it lightly, it's pretty much like Oban bringing back the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Whatever this Angel of Irons has in store can't be good, and it's likely going to bring up another War of the Gods. And then a little bit of research was actually done on the Traveler, and we did discover that the Traveler is also a relatively new cult, and even Arcanist Xenoth is a bit worried about what this Traveler entity is. The Traveler is seemingly benevolent, but there's not enough information on him just yet. I'm sure we will get much more information once TravelerCon comes around. But then, after all of this wonderful research was done, the party thought it would be a good idea to get the teleportation circle in Rexxentrum. They also thought it would be a good idea to bring their horses with, so they clopped their horses through the archives to the teleportation circle, disturbing everyone in the library. Definitely very professional and definitely very responsible. And then absolute chaos ensued. They caused a massive disturbance in Rexxentrum that caused Jester to take a crossbow bolt to the stomach. There's horse shit everywhere. There's yelling, there's confusion, there's trying to lie their way out of it, potentially killing the guards that are watching them. But then after some diplomacy, the party said that they wanted to actually go to Port Damali, and so they were allowed to go to Port Damali. However, they were also banned from the archive in Rexxentrum, which is fine. You know, there's still the archive in Port Damali and the archive in Zadash that they can still have access to. So the party then teleports to the archive in Port Damali with their horses still, and chaos ensues once again. Jester taking another crossbow bolt to the stomach, and a similar scenario happened in Port Damali. There was some arguing, there was some potential going to kill them, but then after a short period of waiting, the monk came back to the party and said that they can go back to Zadash. However, they are henceforth banned from the archive in Port Damali. But that's fine. They're banned from Rexxentrum, they're banned from Port Damali. They still have the archive in Zadash that they have access to. It's fine, it's fine. 1 out of 3, that's totally fine. And so the party then makes their way back home to Zadash, where they see a very stressed out Arcanist Xenoth, as he has had to explain the situation to the various monks at the different locations. And because of this, he, bans the party from the archive in Zadash. That's fine. In a matter of about a half an hour, they were banned from 3 different Cobalt Reserve libraries across Wildemount. That has to be a record of some kind. So at least the party can be proud about that. They were speedrunning getting banned from libraries. So yeah, the whole idea of Bo trying to be responsible and professional about things, that kind of took a turn. But I'm sure she'll find a way to fix the whole situation. But with all of those shenanigans out of the way, the party has made their way back to Xhorhas, where they are going to try to pursue Yasha and Oban and the Laughing Hand and stop them from resurrecting Juriel. And with all of that being said, we are going to wrap up. Let me know all of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions during that episode. As always, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you all next week.